fellow grill masters out there in YouTube land, how are you all? Today I am doing something kind of special. I'm doing some portobello mushrooms, but I'm doing a different recipe than I did last week. So that's the first thing we'll do. The second thing we'll do today is we will be doing a chicken where I'm going to fillet it in half, and we're going to cook it on the grill whole as a flat filleted piece of chicken with skin on. And that is called a fistful of dollars. That's the name of this recipe, and it comes out of my whole spaghetti western theme. Tuscan style portobello mushroom today. Actually, we're doing two of them. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we do is we core out, and I know I've told you guys this before, but we core out that middle stem, and we want to cut it out on an angle so that you give yourself some more room for things to fit down in there. The things that need to fit down in there are a half a cup of onions, a cup of regular criminy mushrooms, any mushroom will do, does not matter, a cup of tomatoes, and it doesn't matter what kind of tomatoes. I'm using a Roma in the style of Tuscan today, because the Roma tomato has that Italian flavor that you see in so many sauces and that you taste in so many sauces. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do a cup of red bell peppers. This is effectively a primal side for us tonight. There is nothing else that we will need as far as a vegetable, as you can see. Now what I do to give it a little bang and bang and a little bit of zip and zap is this. In our bang and bang phase, I'm using a Tuscan style dressing that has balsamic vinaigrette in it. What I do, however, is I actually add a skosh of actual balsamic vinaigrette from Modena, which is from Italy. Spaghetti western. Okay, so that's what we do. And then what we do is we take a spoon and just kind of mix it around like that. It almost looks like, it doesn't smell like it, but it almost smells like some kind of Bailey's chocolate drink. Then we just mix it in. So that's about a half a cup. Mix it all together. Bang, bang it. Boy, that smells really good. You don't really need to add anything else to this. That's the beautiful part about it. It's pretty easy, actually. But you want to cut up these little pieces into really small little pieces so that they fit on top of these things and so that they kind of caramelize and melt and cook properly on the grill. They will cook for about 20 minutes on the grill. Before you know it, you've got something really special. Now, you're not going to eat it like this. You actually could. You could eat it raw like this. You wouldn't even need to cook it. But it'll taste a heck of a lot better if you do cook it. How about that? And because these are towering, we're going to put each one of them in their own little compartment, or their own little sarcophagus, which will go on the grill. Just make a square out of it. It's going to sit on the grill just like that. By the way, the bottom of this Reynolds wrap, which I'll do right now for you, is so that things don't stick. You can either put some olive oil on it or just do that, just a little bit of paint. Because when you take it out, the idea is for it not to stick. Just closing it down, putting it in that foil, square it off like that, and there you have it. You got two portobello mushrooms. Let's move on, folks. You've got to be careful what you're doing here. Now, this is marinating in a Tuscan style spaghetti western type marinade. And what we're doing is we're just filleting this thing right now. We're taking these and filleted and ready to go flat on the grill just like this. And it'll cook much faster that way than if I were putting it on the grill on the rotisserie, but that's okay. We are in schmelting. We've been schmelting, slow cooking this chicken on a big platter to keep the flame up from occurring, because we're just slow smoking. All we want to do is create an environment for this chicken to smoke and make him feel like he's at home. I'm just going to set her on the side here like this. In this pan, which you can't see down here, just going to get rid of some of that oil. That keeps flame up from happening. Put our pan down, and then we'll turn her back over. Now the amazing thing is that it's got beautiful grill marks after being on that grill just for a minute. We're just cooking it about 230 degrees. It's already starting to get tender, which is a beautiful situation. Kind of hard to kind of place these things. On a small grill, a bigger grill would be easier. So now we're just basically placing it as we've turned over everything and the wood smoke is going, and we're going to shut her down again. But just kind of showing you what we're doing here. So on the wine tonight, I've got a nice Chilean, almost like a Cabernet. Something I got at Trader Joe's, which was about $6.99, pretty good price. It's really nice, and I'll bring it out here at in the Delish Face to show you the bottle. It's really nice. It's going to go really well with the chicken. One of the sommeliers, I guess they're a sommelier, guys that know wine. In a restaurant, that's what a sommelier is, but short of being a sommelier, the guys that stock the wine have a good understanding of the wine there at Trader Joe's. So I buy a lot of wine there, and they kind of give me an idea of what goes good with what, especially when I don't know what it is. So this would fit into the family of probably something like a Cabernet, almost ready to just tear off the bone. So now we've got about another 25 to 30 minutes. We're going to take this beautiful glaze and we're going to stick it on here. Now guys, gals, fellow grilling officers, this is what it's all about right here. When you figure out your glazes and what that is, what you like, because this is subjective, right? This is subjective science. This is not like Stephen Hawking talking about quantum physics, or where we're at in the universe, and E equals MC squared stuff. That's not what this is about. This is about subjectivity. When you talk about string theory and all these other goofy things that time actually is involved with, we're really talking about a barbecue here. Man, as that glaze is going on, I am just telling you right now that we have a beautiful situation here. What we got going here in schmelting phase is a little bit of smoke in, continuing as we're putting on the glaze now. But if we're talking about a spaghetti western, if we're talking about, the good, the bad, and the ugly, a fistful of dollars, a few dollars more, you're talking about these types of great films. These guys were truly on the open range, taking their gun out, shooting a buffalo, cutting them up, and just figuring out how to eat something, man. These guys were, I'm not tough in it. I might make a movie or two where I am tough in it, but this is easy. I got Grilly here, and Grill Bit, his side grill, and I'm just sitting here making some barbecue. And it truly is barbecue. It's a hybrid because I got propane, but I got a lot of wood going. And wood is what makes slow cooked barbecue. Grilling, you take the propane, you put a piece of fish on it, you put a piece of chicken, put a steak on it, it's rock and roll. But what I'm talking about here is on the open range. And that's the kind of flavor that I want to kind of reproduce. I want to reproduce the authenticity of the Old West. because I love the Old West. John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, Montgomery Clift, Shall I Go On, Gary Cooper. I mean, all these guys that did these movies, they had something special going on. And what special was they kind of recreated what these guys, what these gentlemen that we talk about, these cowboys, were all about. They were all about toughing it. It was never easy. You know, I'm just a regular average guy. I try to come out to California and do lots of different things to make a living. This is seriously part of my life, making barbecue, making pieces of meat and other types of things, right, such as this, which is fantastic. By putting that on the grill, I kind of catapult myself quantumly back in time. That, you know, barbecue and grilling is all about getting into the primal depths of what we are. As we progress, you know, our brains become more sophisticated. And that's cool because my brain is actually large. If you read the first book, you'll understand why it's so smart. But it's like what we were 100,000 years ago is Cro-Magnon. They pretty much had, you know, fire that they could make to warm their bodies. Then they figured out how to cook meat. Then they had this whole idea that, hey, if we grow stuff, we can eat that too.